Mexican meatloaf cupcake? Ha ha! Come on, I'll show you how we made them. Okay, let's go through this ingredient list. We've got a half a cup of coconut flour, 2 eggs, 1 cup of Mexican blend cheese, 12 ounces of riced cauliflower. You can do it yourself in the food processor. I'm going the easy steamable route. I've got a small onion. And then over here we've got a little can of diced green peppers, or chilies I mean. Over here we've got our homemade taco seasoning mix. We've got 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, a teaspoon of cayenne, that's optional, I won't mind spicy today, a half a teaspoon of salt and pepper, and that's pretty much your taco seasoning mix. Since we're using a fresh onion, there's no onion powder in the taco seasoning. If you're not using fresh onions, just throw a teaspoon of onion powder in with it and you'll be set to go. All right, next we'll talk about our meatloaf icing. Hey, every good cupcake needs icing, and this is no exception. So for this kind of icing, we're going to use a whole block of cream cheese. We're going to use a teaspoon of our homemade taco seasoning. You can mix up some more and use it for this if you'd like. I make that stuff in bulk, or if you want to use the prepackaged kind, that's okay. Just watch out for sugar because it sneaks in there on some brands. A good old dash of hot sauce, and I'm going to be doing a little review on this. So it's going to be a little YouTube short. I'm going to try this out today. This is not my usual hot sauce, but hey, we're going to put a little dash of that in it. Pickled jalapeno peppers. We're going to use the juice out of this, and we're going to use this for as a garnish, just put on top. And if you don't have that, you can use fresh sliced, that'll work too. And while we're talking about jalapenos, let's just go ahead and use some pepper jack cheese. That is a cup. So before we get going, I need to dice up my onions. I use my little ninja chopper here. I love this thing. You can check it out in the description. I done a review on it, but anyway, it makes light work of stuff like this, and you have to determine how well you like yours chopped up. I almost like mine minced. So I've got my onion chopped up. You can use as much of the onion as you like. I took some out because I'm making hamburger steaks for dinner today, and I'm going to mix it with my hamburger meat today for that. But anyway, use the whole onion if you want to. Whatever your preference is for onions, or leave them out. Hey, no judgments here. And then just throw in the rest of the ingredients. And while I'm throwing this in, just want to remind you, hey, I got a Facebook page for the channel, and it's kind of a behind the scenes look at my life and the crazy things I'm going through with my weight loss journey. I've lost over 160 pounds doing a keto lifestyle. So if you want to, you can check that out. It's in the bottom down in the description. It's more laid back. I'm just chit-chatting most of the time. I got a thing called On the Porch, where I sit out on the porch and just talk about real things that I go through and that you go through if you're trying to lose weight or become healthier. It's just relevant and it's what's going on, but check that out if you like. And don't forget to add cauliflower. This just gives it a little more texture, a little more volume, I guess, but put that in there as well. All right, all that's in there, and the only thing left to do now is, there you go, the tools you got. I'll use my hands. You can use a spoon or whatever. It's up to you, but it is a little messy, but I've discovered a long time ago watching my mama, this way is the best. And I should point out that I'm using 80-20 hamburger meat. You want a pretty lean meat for this. You can use whatever you want. If you want it leaner, or you can add turkey to it as well. But 80-20 is what I'm going for. 2 pounds of it, 2 pounds. I don't remember if I said 2 pounds or not in the ingredient list, but it is 2 pounds. Okay, now that we've got it all mixed up really well in the bowl, it's option time. Option one is you can make a regular meatloaf out of it. Just put it in a meatloaf pan, bake it in the oven, and slice it up for dinner and have a good meatloaf. But for my application, I want to be able to divide it up. That's the whole point of using the cupcakes, and I've got a cupcake pan with silicone liners. If you want to use just a regular cupcake pan, you can grease them, that's fine. But this is going to enable me to divvy everything out, put it in Ziploc bags, have it at lunch, pop it in the microwave, and go to town. Portable, easy, and it looks cool. Anyway, that's your options. Either way, it'll work just fine. Just make sure when you cook it, you get the internal temperature up to 160 degrees. So we're gonna pack these and get them in the oven that is preheating to 375 right now. And we want to fill them up about to the top, and just pack them in really tight. Get rid of any air pockets or anything. So it looks like I've got enough here for 18, but what I'm going to do is just use these 12 here, and then I'm going to make me just a little mini meatloaf, and that'll take care of my ingredients. You can cut that in half if you want to. Here they are straight out of the oven. I'm going to let them rest for about 5-10 minutes, and I've dabbed some of the grease out of it with some paper towels around the edges where they separated from the edge of the cupcake things, but we're going to ice them up next. So now it's time for our icing. Now I took the cream cheese, it was room temperature, and I threw it in the microwave for just a few seconds because I wanted it real soft. And I'm going to add in the pepper jack cheese. And this room temperature as well. You want all this to blend up kind of smooth. This is not hard stuff. I'm going to throw in my taco seasoning. And I'm going to include the juice from this here. You wanted to be able to blend it together. And I'm testing out this habanero, key lime habanero sauce. I'm excited about this. So I've already tasted it straight out of the bottle, and I know I like it. But use your favorite hot sauce. Just a little splash of it, just to give it a little bite there. This has got a really good citrus taste to it, mixed with some habanero heat. Yeah. And all I'm going to do is get the old hot rod mixer out for a second and blend this up real smooth. Like I said, this whole step is optional. You don't have to put icing on them, but it will make them look nice and also add some flavors to it as well. So I'm going to put it on mine. And one last thing I'm going to do is chop up a few chives to garnish the top of it with. So we'll be back after it gets done in the oven. So to ice them, you can just take a spoon on your cream cheese spread. That would be fine with the spoon, but I'm going to show you a little trick. If you want to just make them look a little neater, of course, if you have a piping bag, which I barely know what that is, but anyway, all you do is take a Ziploc bag, put it down in your favorite coffee mug here like this here, fold it over the edges, and you want this still to be warm. If it gets cool on you, just warm it up for a second in the microwave because you want it to come out nice and smooth. And just scoop it into your mug like this. And then pull it up out of the mug. Squeeze it up. Cut the corner off just a little bit. And now we can put icing on our Mexican meatloaf. Now this is decorating stuff that I'm not accustomed to doing, but hey, let's make it fun. Okay, the spicy cheese icing's on. Now I'm going to kick it up just a little bit more. I've got some habanero seasoning, just a little bit here and there, since I'm making these for a co-worker that likes spicy foods like I do. Just a tap. Give it a little color on top. And I've got some fresh chives. I'm just going to throw a couple of these on each one. And the last thing I'm gonna do is just top them with a little jalapeno, the tangy jalapeno slice. Just press that right on top. Yeah, just like a cake topper. Yeah. So here's the final product, all decorated up and ready to be in my belly. Let's taste this time, come on. I think that's the most festive dish I've ever made in my life. That is just a nice looking presentation. Usually it's a second thought to me. I don't really decorate my food up a little bit, but they say you eat with your eyes, so I like how it looks. I left the wrappers on it just to give it some color there in the pictures and stuff. But yeah, let's dig in and try it out. All right, before we start tasting this, let me just tell you one thing. For food prepping to take to work, I probably would leave the icing off and just throw them in Ziploc bags, because I know that's going to make a mess when I plop it in a Ziploc bag. For dinner, this is awesome. This is a good presentation and all that. But yeah, I would leave the icing off and maybe just put some of the icing in a Ziploc bag and take it to work and squirt on it whenever I get ready to eat it or whatever. But anyway, that's just a little tip. The only thing left to do now is to pop this bad boy out and taste it. Look at that. Oh. Hey, let me just say this. That is awesome. I was a little skeptical to start with. I'm like, this was a kind of a weird combination of things, but because you got your meatloaf and tacos. You don't usually have those together. But yeah, it works. And that cream cheese, the spices in that, it's savory cheese. It's just right with the spices and everything. I'm going to take this to work and share it with some guys. You can see right here next what their reaction is. All right, I'm here with my blue collar buddy Anthony, and he's going to give this thing a try. Tell us what you think about it here.
What's that on there? That's cream cheese and some?
That's icing.
Like sweet icing? It don't taste like sweet icing.
So you give it a thumbs up?
Yeah. You gonna sell these? I'll buy them.
Nah. Appreciate it, bud. So you see their reaction there. And until next time, don't be afraid to try crazy things. And may the Lord bless you.